Thursday, June 5th, A.D. 2025. This is The Worldview in 5 minutes, written by Jonathan Clark and myself, and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Christian groups across India are organizing a protest against persecution of Christians on Monday, June 9th. The National Christian Front noted, quote, "Our Christian brothers and sisters are enduring brutal attacks and growing intolerance from anti-social elements. This is not merely a Christian issue. It is a grave concern for humanity, for peace, and for the values enshrined in our Constitution." End quote. Christians suffered over 600 incidents of violence and discrimination in India last year. The country is ranked 11th on the Open Doors World Watch list of most difficult places to be a Christian. In the United Kingdom, Christian groups are calling for a day of prayer on Wednesday, June 11th, for protecting human life. This comes as lawmakers are considering bills to legalize assisted suicide. Listen to comments from Kieran Kelly, director of the Christian Institute.
This is a crucial time for our country. So it's vital that Christians are asking the God who made heaven and earth that he would overrule in all these things to protect vulnerable people from this careless and callous bill.
In 1 Timothy 1, verses 1 to 2, the Apostle Paul wrote, "I exhort first of all that supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for king and all who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and reverence." In the United States, the Trump administration rescinded a pro-abortion rule on Tuesday that came from the Biden administration. The rule tried to force hospital emergency rooms to offer abortions even if the state restricted them. Matt Bowman, senior counsel at Alliance Defending Freedom, said, quote, "Doctors, especially in emergency rooms, are tasked with preserving life. The Trump administration has rolled back a harmful Biden-era mandate that compelled doctors to end unborn lives in violation of their deeply held beliefs." End quote. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday to raise tariffs on steel imports. The order doubles tariffs on steel and aluminum coming into the country from 25% to 50%. The levy will affect steel exporters in Canada, Mexico, and many countries in Europe. However, the tariff on steel from the United Kingdom remains at 25% as the U.S. and U.K. worked out a trade deal. Over the weekend, a massive plume of dust made its way to Florida, all the way from the Sahara Desert in Africa. Such dust plumes are known as the Saharan air layer and typically cross the Atlantic each year. The current plume is the biggest one to reach the United States so far this season. It measures nearly 2,000 miles wide and 750 miles from north to south. The dust can diminish air quality, but also create spectacular sunrises and sunsets. A report from Lifeway Research found that only 1 out of 100 evangelical pastors leave the ministry each year. This low rate has remained steady for the last 10 years, despite many pastors acknowledging their work is very demanding and even overwhelming. Sean McConnell with Lifeway Research said, quote, "The rate of pastors departing the pastorate is steady and quite low given the demands of the role. Many of those leaving the pastorate feel they are moving at God's direction to another role of ministry." End quote. In 2 Timothy 4, verse 2, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Preach the word, be ready in season and out of season. Convince, rebuke, and exhort with all long-suffering and teaching." The left insists that there's nothing special about America, but a new docudrama contends that God inspired its founding. The American Miracle, Our Nation is No Accident, hits the silver screen in 1,000 theaters nationwide for 3 days only next week, Monday, June 9th through Wednesday, June 11th. Inspired by Michael Medved's bestseller, this exciting, entertaining, and edifying motion picture experience was created in anticipation of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Medved appeared on the 700 Club.
America's no accident. All of our most important leaders, from Washington to Lincoln, to Woodrow Wilson, Franklin Roosevelt, all of our leaders have understood that America has a divine purpose.
Consider God's protection of George Washington, the father of our country, in a ferocious battle in 1755 during the French and Indian War. At that time, 69 of 70 officers were either killed or wounded. Washington was the only officer who was not shot off his horse. In fact, 2 horses were shot out from underneath him, yet he lived. Even a Native American chief later said that they could not touch Washington. Shockingly, after the battle, he found numerous bullet holes in his jacket and bullet fragments in his hair, but he was miraculously unscathed. No wonder they called him bulletproof. Visit the website, AmericanMiracleMovie.com. Watch the trailer, click on tickets, and type in your zip code to get tickets for next week at a theater near you. On Wednesday, I was delighted to receive 23 emails at adam@theworldview.com about what listeners enjoy about this newscast. Amy Cool from St. Cloud, Florida wrote, quote, "I like that I can trust the Worldview newscast to report the truth from a biblical perspective. I like the scriptures referenced as they pertain to a particular story because it shows the relevance of the Bible to our life today. That's often hard for people to see when they haven't grown up in a home where the Bible was read or explained," end quote. Toward this week's $30,875 goal to fund 1/4 of the Worldview newscast's annual budget by this Friday, June 6th, 14 listeners stepped up to the plate on Wednesday by 7:15 p.m. Central last night. Our thanks to Grace in Duncanville, Texas, Greg in Rochester, New Hampshire, Andy in Santa Barbara, California, and George in Carrollton, Missouri, each of whom gave $25. We also appreciate Jalen in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, John in Granger, Indiana, and Stephen in Jacksonville, Florida, each of whom gave $50. We're grateful to God for Nancy in Peabody, Massachusetts, Kevin in North Bend, Oregon, and Robert in Plano, Texas, each of whom gave $100. And we appreciate the generosity of Paula in Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, who pledged $10 per month for 12 months for a gift of $120. Dawn in Troy, Montana, who gave $150. Amy in Seminole, Texas, who gave $300. And Dawn in Smithville, Texas, who pledged $25 per month for 12 months for a gift of $300. Those 14 listeners gave a total of $1,420. Ready for our new grand total? Drum roll, please. $6,352. We missed our goal of 20 donors by just 6 donors. That means by this Friday, we still need to raise $24,523. Whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, we churn out a weekday Christian broadcast 52 weeks per year. It's a commitment we're glad to make, but we need help to cover the cost. Would you prayerfully consider investing $100 per month for 12 months into this ministry, helping to pay for the work of the 6-member Worldview team? If 20 of you made that pledge, we would hit our Friday, June 6th goal one day early. Just go to theworldview.com and click on Give on the top right. Click on the button that indicates a recurring donation if you want to give monthly. Thanks for investing your resources into this media ministry that champions the truth. Our plumb line is Jesus Christ himself. And that's the Worldview on this Thursday, June 5th, in the year of our Lord 2025. Subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.